I am. Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well today. I figured it'd be nice to stream for a wee bit today. See if I can get everyone situated here. Alright, let's see. Hey Wes, hope you're doing well today. Glad you could join the stream. Let's see. Yep, I'm doing quite well. It's been quite hot today though, but it's getting closer to the evening time now, so it'll be nice when when the sun finally goes down. Let's see. The Fire Strike does pretty well. I was telling that to RPG on the stream that again, well, Egregious hasn't messaged me yet about it. He might, but I told him, F- Fire Strike does pretty well. Let's see. 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 Let's see I think RPG told me it takes like 20 casts, 20, I think on average 20 casts the firebolt for per blue dragon. So this is definitely not too bad. Let's see here. Uh, yeah, I only have 2 levels left for 60 magic and then same for prayer. I'm actually really close to 59 magic now. So I might actually get to 60 magic even before I get to 43 prayer. We'll have to see. Combine some iron ore already monastery, then superheat while running to the bank for smithing plus mining plus magic. The superheat stalls you so you don't use as much run. Then can smith the iron bars into. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Now it's not only you, it's now, or now it's not only egregious, it's also you now trying to get me to do family crest quest. I'll do it eventually, it's just, again, before I do family crest, I'd like to do Lost City first, because I really want, access to Dragon Dagger and Dragon Longsword. I'd love to do Heroes Quest too, to get the Dragon Mace and Dragon Warhammer. Or Dragon Battle Axe, my bad. Yeah, the Warhammer's on this version of the game. But yeah, eventually we'll do Family Crest Quest. Eventually. In time. Don't worry, I'll probably get that from mining gem rocks in Shiloh Village. So we'll get there eventually. Let's see. You know, eventually I will, Wes. Eventually, I promise. Just it's. In time, Wes. In time. Thankfully, Egregious gave me 1,000 air runes, or not air runes, nature runes as a gift. So we'll see. We'll see. Elemental Workshop is coming out soon as well, and I might do that because it gives 5,000 smithing XP, I think, and 5,000 crafting XP, and that'll help us quite a bit too. So I might consider doing that when that comes out. Oh, actually, well, if I do Elemental Workshop before Lost City, I could get 31 crafting, probably. Or, well, close to it. And then, yeah. Yeah, we'll probably do, I don't know when we'll do Legends, but I think the goal right now is to eventually do Lost City, do Heroes, eventually do Family Crest Quest, and then the Workshop, Elemental Workshop for sure. Hmm, for sure. I'm to see what Egregious says. It's great. Sense. Appreciate the likes, whoever's left them. No, it means a lot to me. If you're one of them, Wes, no, I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it, Wes. No, it means a lot. Even though you and I go back and forth about Family Crest like I do with Egregious. Egregious is like, let's go, finally. Go casting Fire Strike. Doesn't hate. Better do that quest so worth it. You'll blank yourself you didn't. It's not a bad method, just usually costs more for less XP. Makes sense. Not a sinkhole. I like to also no, no. I will eventually, just not right now. I plan, I plan to do Lost City first. No, you gotta get you're behind. No, stack of. That's funny. Our giant's very good, good, very lively, good for chats. let's do a poll. Life. I just put up a poll. I want to see what you guys vote. Need 84 range, and I'm grinding nothing but magic till the 12th. Oh, nice. Pretty cool. Got 59 magic. I can now do Fire Blast. I mean, you could give them out to other people, like I do. No. 100 eye patches. Yeah, someone voted the eye patches, I'm glad. See. 'Oh, nice. Pretty cool. Okay. How about, let's see. Okay, I'm doing another poll here. Even though I make burgers at home, I just want to do this because I know we did a poll on pizza joints the other day, so Seems like Wendy's is winning. Or Burger King, I'm glad. I love Burger King as well. I think the sesame buns I use at home almost taste like the ones I have at Burger King because they usually serve burgers on a sesame seed bun. Oh, that's kind of a shame you guys don't have a lot of them in the UK. Maybe in time they'll open up more. Mackey's is cheaper. Just we have like two, I think. One in London, one somewhere else. Let's see. Well, I'm surprised McDonald's is cheaper. I thought McDonald's was getting super expensive, or I guess maybe that's mainly more so in the States. Uh, I think. Let's see. Okay. Ooh. Let's see here. Um, 599 euros for, or no, is that euros? No, I think no. In the UK, I think you guys use pounds. My bad. I'm thinking of elsewhere in Europe. Okay, I think okay. 599 pounds for a Big Mac. 969 pounds for bacon double cheese. I should know this because I did visit London once. It's been years, but I went there once, and at the time I was still living with my mum and her partner, and we went to what was it? One of the grocery stores there. They sometimes they discount stuff 90% off, like when it's about to expire. So we bought this bacon ham cheese quiche, which was excellent. I think it was only like 80 pence or something. and it was the best 80 pence ever spent. I think that equates to around $1 or $1 USD, but it was really good. Yeah, I live on my own now. I've lived on my own for over 5 years now. Actually, I've been seeing my dad a lot more lately, which has been nice. I still talk to my mom now and again. Of course, my grandma too. Willing to do 500k for all. Oof. Let's see. Wait, let me see what you have. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was pretty good. Um, okay. Probably not 500. Give me a sec. I'm gonna see what he can offer me if I give him 100k. He's already got a decent amount of runes. Yeah, I prefer to say mum. And then dad is just dad. I know some people might say pa, but I just prefer calling him dad. Uh, uh, yeah, for sure. Um, okay, how about 2000, wait, 2001. How about, okay, maybe, okay, how about, um, uh, let me give him a gift. Let's see, how about, give him a gift. I am the gem Rainbow after all, so I think it's only fitting to give him gems. Yeah, no, I think my mom, I think the reason why, um, I mean, of course we text, uh, we've been texting a fair amount recently, but I think the reason why she hasn't really talked to me as much is probably because she just wants probably to give my dad and I a bit more time together, which is nice because even though I didn't grow up living with my dad, it has been nice to spend more time with him. And I've learned a lot more about my ancestry too through my dad's side. That's where I get like the Japanese, native Asian ancestries from my dad. I don't think my mom has much of that. My mom is more so mainly European, really. Um, probably Spanish, French, maybe some other things too, Greek potentially. Um, I know my mom's name is Edith, and I learned Edith is actually can go back to Old Norse, but it also can go back to Old English as well. So my mom actually didn't know that until I told her about it. But no, spending time with my dad has been good, and of course, spending time with his partner Julie, who's become a good friend. She's also been great too. Let's see. Yeah, I always loved my dad because he always says he's European and East Asian. And then I like get photos from Japan. Like I showed him a photo of like one of the prime ministers of Japan, not the current one, but the one before, Fumio Kishida. I told my dad every time I see Fumio Kishida, I think of you, Dad. I can see now why you say you're part Asian. So kind of funny. Hmm. And I love the Japanese, and well, of course, not everyone's perfect, but I think what I like about the Japanese is they're very creative. The art they do is usually superb. And again, I found out like when I looked at my dad's like if you go through his maternal lineage, like through his mother, through his great grandmother, I noticed it's like the same maternal lineage of the Japanese, and so that's why. So now it makes more sense because I used to question my dad being part Asian, but now it makes sense. Um, I was looking at a photo of my great grandmother Lita and my great grandfather Cleves, which is where I might have gotten that Danish Dani ancestry from Scandinavia or from Denmark. I think it's from Seoland, Denmark, and it's actually pretty cool, actually. Uh, and I'm glad they were both happy together. I really am. But no, my great grandmother Lita from my dad's side literally looks like a Japanese woman, like literally. Like if you put her in Japan, you probably couldn't tell the difference, honestly. So, and I always remember she had a smile when she would see me, as well as my dad's mother, Pama. And she would make like the best empanadas ever. If you've ever had empanadas, it's kind of like a Spanish pastry. Uh, it's not sweet though; it's more savory. It's kind of like a meat pie. I'm sure you've had those before, Mafi, since you live in the UK. But yeah, it's kind of like a meat pie. That's the best way to describe it, and it's really good. So I don't think I've had the UK version of the meat pie before that much, but I think I've had it once at least. So I think that's why I can kind of compare it. And of course, yeah, yeah, it's very savory for sure. I think the only thing sweet in it is like sometimes like it also would have like raisins in it too, which would be nice. Um, I think the raisins is like the sweet part of it. But yeah, and of course, both my grandmothers are great. Like my grandmother from my mom's side, I call her Mama because she likes to be called Mama. Um, she actually is sending me a gift for my birthday. She's sending me some new shoes, and some chocolates, which are nice. And I've always enjoyed both my grandmothers. Both of them. You know, I come from a very rich and diverse rainbow background, which is really cool. And it's cool to like again to be related to Japanese, to be related to like Norse, Celts, Greeks, maybe even Egyptian, indigenous North African, uh, Celtic, and native and everything. And just it somehow all became part of me, and it's really cool because they say America is the melting pot, and I literally am the melting pot. I am the personification of it. Yeah. But no, that fits perfectly now. So like when people say, "Hey, like where were you born?" and I was like, "Well, I was born in the land that is known to allegedly be the melting pot, and I am the personification of that melting pot." So, no, it's good though. I love it. I mean, at least I won't have any problems being inbred, thankfully enough. I mean, I'm not saying that that should you know be the only thing to consider, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Uh, I live in the inland Pacific Northwest. You probably heard about my state in the news if you heard about firefighters passing away in the U.S. Because apparently it was even talked about in the I think it was like some in the UK newspaper, and I was surprised because I thought, wow, like the UK or Britain recognized, a relatively small state I live in. Because usually they talk about New York or Los Angeles or DC, but I'm glad they were able to cover my region. But yeah, no, I live close to the Canadian border in the inland Pacific Northwest, if that gives you any ideas. Oh, shoot, my bad. Let me eat this trout. Oh, that's good to hear. Glad you had a good time. I have a friend from Iowa though. She actually bought me ice cream for my birthday, and she actually sent it through Grubhub or one of the online delivery services, which was nice of her. She's actually Cajun Irish, so she's like French Irish, maybe some German and Scandinavian, but mainly Irish and French. And so she sent me some ice cream, and it was really nice of her. It had like berries and graham crackers in it, and it was delicious. But no, I enjoy the place I live in. I know it's not always perfect. I mean, no place is perfect, but it's a relatively mellow place. When you see what's going on in the news, especially like in LA or Los Angeles, New York, all the big cities, you kind of become more grateful, where you live. I know it's all the same country, but the U.S. is a big place. Oh, nice. I know Iowa gets forgotten about even by Americans. Yeah. Well, most people, when I tell them about Idaho, they call it Iowa because they get either that or they'll call it Ohio because they get those three confused. But yeah, no, this place has definitely been a blessing. Sure. Oh, nice. Well, glad you had a good time there as well. Yeah, I think my friend Dolly would go up to Minnesota too at times for vacation. Um, yeah, she's been having some health problems though lately, so she hasn't really talked much, but I always appreciate the ice cream she sent over. Yeah. Yeah, you know, over the years, I think the longer I've lived by myself, the more I've kind of become more comfortable, um, just kind of going through the ups and downs of relationships, thankfully. Mhm. And that's one reason why I started the server too, Love Trail, because for me, love is not only bringing people together, but it's also, continuing on that trail. Even when you face setbacks. So. But no, I think now that I'm 30, I'm starting to look at the world a little bit differently. I guess it makes sense, since I'm no longer in my 20s. But I still feel young though. I don't feel like I'm old, like well, in a bad way. I had a friend from Canada, from the northwest part of Canada, named Gummy, and she was 29 at the time, and she already felt like super old. But I don't feel like that. I think actually this is probably one of the best times in my life I've felt. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I've never really complained about getting a year older. That might change when I'm like 70 or 80 or something. I don't know, but right now it's perfect. Like I feel much better at 30 than I did at 20. I know not everyone feels like that, but I definitely do. Yeah, I know some people feel like that. Um, and again, I don't know if it's like a guy thing, a girl thing, or if it's just an individual thing. I don't know if I've met too many guys that have told me like they're like in their late 20s and they feel like what Gummy said, like that she felt too old. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I've heard someone, maybe one guy say that, but yeah. Oh, I okay. No, I do know someone. I do know someone. Okay. So I had someone named Glenn, and he had an interesting mix too. Like his father was like Austrian, I think, or Dutch. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, like his dad was like Austrian or Dutch or something, and then his mother was like probably a mix between African, uh, and maybe she had some Native American Brazilian. I'm not sure, but anyways, I know he would always say like even when he was like 25 or something that he felt too old. He said, "I want to be like a kid again. I want to be 15." I'm like, okay. For me, I prefer being 30 than I did when I was 15. I guess it was okay, but I think life has progressively gotten better for me as I keep going. So, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's how life should be, on average at least. It should get better. If it gets better, it shows that you're improving. So, yeah, I think he was the only one though. I don't know. I'm sure I met another guy who said that, but Got another gem. I think one thing I heard about, and you might appreciate this because I know you said you were Capricorn Mafia, is that apparently they say Capricorns are late bloomers, but it seems like for Cappies, sometimes I call them Cappies if that's alright, because sometimes it makes me think of like the word happy. Not always Mr. Happy, because Mr. Happy oftentimes more so Mr. Grumpy than Mr. Happy, even though he's Capricorn too. But anyways, um, they say they say Capricorns tend to be yeah, they say Capricorns tend to be late bloomers, but they tend to like age better like when they get older. And I think I can kind of see that because I've well like definitely like with my dentist that was a Capricorn. I think she's aged pretty well. I don't know how old she is, but um same thing with my dental receptionist. Um yeah, it's just like they tend to age well. Um I think the thing with Capricorns though, like when they're really happy, like they look really good, but then the opposite can be true. Like when they are like really down on their what do you call it? Down on their luck. They look like some like they look like some of the worst. I don't want to say it like that, but like I knew someone that when I only moved out of my parents this year, so maybe yeah. Oh, congrats. No, I knew Capricorn that she kind of always struggled with her appearance because when she looked happy and healthy, she looked very beautiful, honestly. But then when she like was like in a train wreck, like it's just a lot of that beauty like was replaced with like ugliness and fear. It was hard because it's not like I want to say that, but it's just like I feel like they struggle finding that balance between um just being able to shine that beauty really well consistently. Um but you know, maybe that's just the journey they go through. I don't know. But but when they look well and when they're healthy, like it really does shine. It's just when the opposite happens, sometimes, you know, and oftentimes when they do get like that, like they tend to kind of want to sort things out themselves. Is usually what happens. But yeah, like I knew someone that was a Capricorn that I was attracted to, and you know, she would take photos that she would look like really good. But then when I would see her on live streams, and I think my friend Dolly tried to tell me about that, I asked myself, why was I attracted to her in the first place? So I just, it was almost like a mirage or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think with me, I mean, I've gone through times too where I don't look the best, but I always try to find a way to get back up, you know. I always try to find a way to keep going, even when tough gets going, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think with me though, well, maybe it's just, I don't know if it's a tourist thing, but oftentimes when I share people like a photo of myself, they usually will say I'm cute or they'll say, you know, you look good looking. Um, thankfully, I have never. I think the only time I've really had issues with people is not even so much um my appearance. I think it's more so like people will say like you're not Celtic or you're not who you say you are. So it's more so like identity than it is like how I appear, I guess. Or and then I just have to try to tell them it is part of me. And of course, there's also many other parts of me too. But that's the beautiful thing, you know. That's why the rainbow is so beautiful because you have all the colors come together and it makes something really nice. So yeah, it tends to happen more here in the States, but I've even had some people from England before. And I'm sorry to say this because I know you live in the UK, but they would say the Spanish have nothing to do with Celts. And then I'd get DNA tests from France that are matched with modern day Spanish populations, and they match with the Celts who lived in Gaul. So apparently the guy from I don't know where he lives in England, but his thing about you Spanish need to keep your noses out of anything Celtic. He doesn't realize a lot of Celts were, well, they would have been related to modern day Spanish populations, French, South Dutch, even German, because Celts intermixed with many different people. Yeah, um, yeah. And I was surprised too it was from an Englishman, because usually I would have understood more if it was from an Irish or Scottish or Welsh person, but not to say that of course, there are Celts there are English of Celtic descent as well, of course, but I don't know, it just kind of felt odd to me because I know uh, some English might identify more as Anglo-Saxon, so I think I watched a video where there was a protest in England and there were people fighting, and someone said the Anglo-Saxons were outsiders and they weren't the natives to England. I think it was the English person that said that, and so then they started fighting with each other. And I thought it was silly. Yeah, and I only laugh because my dad's partner Julie, she'll always say she's Anglo-Saxon in English. So for an Englishman to say, "Oh yeah, no, that Anglo-Saxons were they're not really part of they're not really meant to be here either." It's just kind of silly at that point. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I only laugh because um it gets to a point where it gets really ludicrous. It's like I kind of think in the back of my mind, it's like, do you want to be inbred then? You know? Because at some point you gotta let new people in. I mean, you don't want people like raiding and forever or like coming in by force, but to say no, we're only going to be this small circle and that's it. Over time, it can work for a while, but it can't work forever. Very mishmash and mostly French, which is funny. Yeah, that's one thing too. I told my dad's partner that she's not that far away from modern day French populations, and I kind of laugh because I know the English and French have always had this rivalry for each other, and I think I told her, imagine those people in England, throwing stones at each other, during one of the protests. Imagine if you told them they were part French. They probably. No, because I don't know where this was, but I saw videos of people literally throwing stones at each other. Oh yeah, we were conquered by France and pillaged by Vikings, yeah. Well, remember I told you RPG, I think he told me he was ethnically Norwegian but raised by Irish. So I think he connected more with the Norse. And I think I have a bit of that in me as well. I have almost a bit of everything. But yeah, no, like I think what it is people they either don't know, or even if they have the opportunity to learn, sometimes they choose not to. Sometimes they would prefer just to throw a stone at you and say, "Ha, I got him." But yeah, And that it's kind of silly because I know some English, they'll say, we have the most civilized country in the entire world, and then they start throwing stones at each other, and I'm like, are we back in the Stone Ages? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at least when you go to Japan, they might call you Gaijin foreigner, but you don't see many Japanese throwing these huge stones at foreigners. Maybe one day, but not today. Yeah, I think the security provider to who you subscribe to is more important than individual ethnic identity. So we are all Americans because NATO. Yeah, I guess there's different ways you can look at things. Um, but at the same time, I think it's also good to know who you are as well, because at least with Bjorn from Norway, like he connects strongly with being Norse, and I think that's a good thing. It's kind of like a lot of the Native Americans here in the Americas, well, even though I more so connect with the Japanese, there are some natives that really, feel connected to their heritage, or they'll feel connected to like the Hawaiians, or even the Maori, or from New Zealand, and different kinds of people. I ain't no damn American. See, there you go. Yeah, I told you. And the thing is, we should know who we are, because I mean, of course, you could say I'm American or I'm British, but it's okay to also say, okay, I'm American with Celtic, Norse, or Native Japanese ancestry, or you could say I'm British with Celtic or French or Norse or whatever ancestry. Or you could say like, well, I know you guys had a prime minister before. Uh, I know you guys have a different prime minister now, but there was another one beforehand. There's Keir Starmer now, but I think there's another guy named Ricci. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his name right. Ricci Sunak or something. And I know he would always say he's British, which is fine. But I think in some videos he'd also mention he was part Pakistani or something. But that's okay. That's okay though. Like it's okay to, say that that's also part of your ancestry. You know, it's yeah. The only reason why I laugh is because I watched a video with him at the car, and I think he had his seatbelt. He didn't have his seatbelt on, and he was saying, I'm trying to champion the values of the British people." And I'm like, didn't help he was a great Prime Minister. We are, yeah. No, I mean, I couldn't help but laugh. Just, I mean, I don't want to get, I didn't want him to get hurt in the car. It's just like the way he was saying it. Like, I know he's saying the words, but I don't know. Like, it reminds me a lot of like Vayne Solidor from Final Fantasy 12. If you've ever played Final Fantasy 12, he was a great orator. But yeah. I will say I don't know if I've had Pakistani food. I've had Indian food. Indian food is pretty good. Um, but yeah, no, I think the thing is that I'm gonna try to see how I can break it down. Um, yeah, I think identity is so important because sometimes people will try to label me different things that I don't feel connected to. Oh yeah, yeah, Indian food's really good. Yeah. Like I had one person. I told you I had an old friend of mine, and since now we're talking about India and all that, what he would tell me is like, you're faking being Celtic. You're not Celtic. You're like Indian or Indonesian or something. And I don't really feel a connection to those cultures. I mean, I know like my dad's grandmother, Lita, looked Japanese, and I feel connected to the Japanese, but I don't know, like, it just, that's why I think it's so important to know who you are, because people, if you don't know who you are, then people will start trying to say, well, then this is who you are, then I'll put you in this box. And I'll say, well, I don't fit in that box. So, but, yeah, and it's kind of hard to talk about sometimes because especially like with like close people I've known for a while, um, even when I show them the ancestry, sometimes they'll just say, well, they won't have a good they won't have a good kind of comeback. So, um, but yeah, no, I can definitely say I'm definitely Spanish. I'm definitely Japanese, or native Japanese, because again, my great grandmother Rita looked like a Japanese woman. Um, of course, French, Celtic, uh, a lot of other things. Yeah, it's interesting to hear people say they're Celtic. We normally just say we are English or Welsh, and then have a local pride. Yeah, I think the reason why I say Celtic is because I have like a lot of Celtic ancestry from like Gaul, like from France. Well, yeah, I had like a ton from France. I had like some ancestry that was related to like Belgic tribes, so like tribes from Belgium. And my dad would always say he felt like he was part Belgium, and well, he's right, because we were related to like a tribe known as the Belgic Suessiones, and they were like a mix of like Germanic and Celtic. And also there were Celtic tribes in Spain as well, in North Italy, and even the Balkans. Like I'm not like I don't think how should I say this? I don't think all of my or most of my Celtic ancestry would come from like Ireland or Britain, but a lot of it does come from like France, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands. I think that's why I say it. I mean, I could also say that I feel French, but I think that feeling French can mean so many different things because even my friend Dolly, who's part French, she'll say, you'll know the difference between the French and the real French. And that to me is code for you'll know the difference between countryside French and an asshole French. Pardon my French. That's what I think of when she says that. So, but because I've met them before. I've met some French that um even like if there are words that are similar, like in Spanish and French, like a more or a more, like they'll say like that's not what I said. And I said I know that's not what you said, but the way the word is pronounced is so close, it might as well be almost the same. Yeah, most Americans I know will be like I'm Irish or English or French. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the thing is like a lot of the Celtic tribes in France or in Gaul, because before it was called France by the Franks, it used to be called Gaul. Those people were really related mainly to a lot of Spanish populations. Well, Spanish, French, South Dutch. They were like a mixture of people. Like they weren't just like one ethnic group. But they were also Celts, or well, really Gallo Celts, because they lived in Gaul. But yeah, it's I mean, and I think the other reason why it's important to say that too is because, like in Spain specifically, I think out of all the European countries, Spain, for whatever reason, has so many different ethnic groups within Spain. Um, like you could say you're Spanish, but there's a difference between like a Spanish that or Spaniard that has like more Celtic ancestry versus a Spaniard that has like more Basque ancestry or more like North African ancestry or even Greek or Roman or Phoenician. So it's kind of tough, um, you know, because there's so many different interpretations of what it means to be Spanish. Um, but I think that's why, like, I will say like Celtic, I'll say like Greek or Trojan, I'll say like those things because I think it's more of a like an indicator of the ancestry. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, I guess Germany has like Bavaria and Slavic people, where I call them Skeloveni. The Norse people, Celtic. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, like it's like because like I think for me it's I don't know in Europe, but at least in the States, like people think that a lot of the Mexicans, like some of them that have like are completely Native American and feel a connection to Hawaii, they say those are Spaniards or those are Spanish, and I'm like I don't know if you read history at all. Or Bjorn from Norway would say, like, if your IQ is higher than your shoe number, then you because like he gets some people on his channel from, and I'm sorry to say this, but he does get it from the U.S. where I live, and they'll tell him the Earth is flat, and they can believe that, but you know, yeah, like I don't know, like in England or in the UK what you guys think, um, but yeah, a lot of people in the U.S. here think the Mexicans that look almost completely Native American, and a lot of them are predominantly Native American, uh, not even Japanese Native American, like how I feel connected to, like almost like more Polynesian, Oceania. They think they're Spanish people. Like they think that somehow the Spaniards came from Mexico. Uh, it's like thinking that the English, or it's like thinking that the English came from America. Because there are some Americans that say we don't speak English, we speak American. It's like people saying we speak Mexican, we don't speak Spanish. Like, I mean, well, of course, like Mexican Spanish has its own colloquialisms, like American English does. But you have to understand that before there was American, before Mexican Spanish, there was, European languages of Spanish and uh, English, or I guess before that in the Americas there would be Native American languages. But yeah, there are people who actually think that. I'm not lying to you. Like, and I'm sorry it comes from my country, like, or it comes from the country I live in. But that's the truth. People, for whatever reason, think like that. I don't know why. Um, but they just do. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, like I try to be a good representation of what it means to have been born in the U.S., but um, I just think people I don't know, they just came out of a rock or something. I don't know. But yeah, like I wanted to get your opinion on that because Spain is in Europe, so I'd have to imagine you guys in Britain would know that because you guys share the Atlantic Ocean, so like it's you know, it's and I think like when I was looking at my dad's partner's ancestry, Julie, she always says she's Anglo-Saxon. She was actually closer to the modern day populations in Spanish Catalonia than she was to Norwegian. And the reason probably why that is because she had a fair amount of Celtic ancestry, probably more so than she thinks. Because I think a lot of the northern like European like Norwegian, Swedish, North German, all that. I think a lot of that ancestry had come from the Norse and the Scandinavians. Not all of it, um, but I think that's why um, she had a connection to or why she was closer to Spanish Catalonia than Norwegian, I think. Yeah, Spanish from Spain and England from England. It's in the names. Yeah. Um, the thing is, in the Americas, the two main languages we speak, if you go from Chile to Greenland, well, I don't know in Greenland if their main language is English. Maybe it might be Danish, but at least if you go to Alaska, maybe that's a better example. I actually have native ancestry all the way in Greenland, which is kind of funny or kind of interesting. But uh, you know, the two main languages would be English and Spanish. So, or really it'd be like, well, Latin and Germanic or Proto-Celtic. All kind of comes together. But people, and then there are some people that also think, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but they'll say, even some of the natives will say, like, the first Europeans who arrived here were people on the Mayflower, and then I'll tell them, have you ever heard about St. Augustine? No. Um, Again, not trying to toot my horn here, but I'm just saying that there were a lot of different people, a lot of different Europeans who also came to the Americas. Yeah, the French as well. The French, the Portuguese, the Italians. Yeah, I think those were the main ones. Well, there was Italians, Portuguese, Spanish, French, English, Dutch, I guess too. What do you think about the reunification of Western and Eastern Catholic Orthodox Church? I don't know. Well, the thing is, I don't really know what to think about that because I'm not really Catholic. I don't think I'm really Orthodox either. I'm more of like what you would call like a pagan or someone who believes in spirituality. I am fascinated by Greek, kind of, or Hellenistic paganism because, it is part of my ancestry. If you go back to the Trojans and you go back to the Spartans and all that. But as far as anything with the church is concerned, I don't know what to really think about that. Um, yeah, like, I don't know if you. Oh, this might be a good question too for you, Mafi, because I want to see if I'm right about this. So, because really, I guess American English too would be like its own version of English, or like, because like here in the U.S. they'll use words like I'm non-religious, so I have no standing. No worries, that's fine. Um, they'll use words like in American English like klutz and spiel. It's kind of funny that when they say the only language we speak here is English, and then you look at the what do you call the colloquialisms or the different word or the slangs people use, and if you look at those two words, spiel and klutz, those are actually not of English origin. They come from like German, or not even just German. They come from Yiddish, which is like I think is like Ashkenazi Jewish or something. Are those words that are often used in the UK, like spiel and klutz? Because I never knew about that because I always used to hear those words in the States. I don't know if I really have heard those words used as much in the UK, but I was just curious. I only say that because, um, as here sometimes in the States we'll say the only language we speak is English. We don't speak for example, French or Spanish. And then I'll say, well, how about Danish or Norwegian? How about the Rimbu? Because I love saying Rimbu because I just love the word Rimbu, and that's I mean it's close to rainbow, but it's because I think rainbow really is inspired by the Old Norse word for well, rainbow, which is Rimbu. So um, so that those are like some words I like to use. Well, yeah, like and then like some other words I like to use sometimes too, and you might have noticed this sometimes when I type, is sometimes I learned about the origins of the word ampersand an, which comes from Latin and it goes back to the Romans, but I learned about e, which goes back to Greek epsilon or e grega or griega, and so that's why sometimes I'll try to say and e because it connects to not only Latin or Roman but also Greek. Um, our accent and dialogue changes every 5 miles here in the UK, so it kind of depends. I'm from the south near Winchester, the old capital, and we are considered semi-posh. I see. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know how it is in the UK, like how it is when it comes to languages. I just know here, people, I don't like. I think it's like Bjorn said. I think he said, you fucking idiots, or you don't even know, uh, because they were telling him you're going to hell for believing in Odin, because he's a heathen, and then he would say, like the words like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday have all connection to like Norse goddesses and gods. Like Tuesday is Tyr's day, Wednesday is Odin's day, or some say Woden, but I prefer Odin. Thursday is Thor's day, and then Friday is Freya's day. And most people here in the States don't know that origin. I don't know about people in the UK, but um, Tuesday, and and no, we don't bloody say it like that. It's kind of funny. Um, yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if it's more of a problem here than it is over in the UK. But, and I guess in Canada, I mean, I guess technically over there they have two languages anyway, the English and French. Um, so I don't know how that would work, but I think, the more you know, or the more languages you're at least able to at least somewhat understand even at a basic level, I think it's not a bad thing because then you kind of see how all how languages are connected. And yeah. But what it sounds to me when I explain these things is that maybe these things are more uncommon in the UK than it is in the States. Like, for example, believing, like I told about Mexico, and then I told you about the American comes from, or English comes from American or something. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I just try to get advantage, or I try to get like a perspective of how people in Europe think, or just how they kind of view things. Language is a funny thing, really. Even we both speak the same language. Like it makes my skin crawl when Americans say uh, twat with an O and not an A. Oh, I've never. Wait. I think that's what you're saying, but yeah. I don't know if I've heard tolt. Or not even. Yeah. Yeah. Historically, monotheism was politically meta for establishing European dominance. Polytheistic faiths that predate Christianity didn't result in strong political institutions. Yeah, well, you're right about that in a sense. Um, but of course, there is a lot of baggage with that too. I mean, even Bjorn from Norway said that, the conversion to Christianity in Norway wasn't necessarily a peaceful one. Probably the same true for a lot of the Celtic regions as well. Um, but yeah, no, like, yeah, I think that's the other. Yeah, let's see. Didn't want to make you swear, sorry, but yeah, I've heard a lot say twat, and it's so weird. Just English slang that we used sounds odd from an American, not being hateful. Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing too. Like, remember I told you, Muffy, like when people thought I was from like the UK or Ireland or something, or that I was born there. I mean, I have ancestry from there, definitely, I do. At least some to an extent, you know. But this is just the way I speak. It's like it's not that I tried to like imitate a Scotsman, you know, after listening to him for like a month. It just naturally came out. It's like I guess like how some of the German Americans keep their German accent, and they'll say you'll do it this way and that way or whatever way they speak. I don't speak like that though. I speak a bit differently, but you know, it just like it stayed with me, like it or it resurfaced, like it. And I think that's the thing too. I think like my old friend, he said, "Well, you're pretending to be Celtic, or you just learned to speak that way. That's not who you really are." But this is who I am. It just came out, and then when I learned about my ancestry, it made sense. Yeah, like because I do know I have a lot of Celtic ancestry from France. From well, it was back then it was called Gaul. It's like from the Iron Age. But I look at the people they were related to, and even though they were most closely related to like Spanish, French, Dutch, they weren't too far away from like Welsh or English or Southwest English. I think Southeast is more Anglo-Saxon, but at least Southwest, so like Cornish, Cornwall. Uh, because I think a lot of those Celtic tribes had a shared ancestral lineage. Like you had I think there's like P Celtic, which was like I had a lot of that, and that was related to like Welsh, Cornish, Breton, and then Q Celtic is like Irish, Manx, and Scottish, and I probably have a bit of that as well. But they didn't really separate until like 2,300 years ago, and the matches I had were before the separation, so maybe that's why I kind of can connect with both a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's like you know, some Americans still keep their German accent, or some still say klutz and spiel or whatever. That's fine. That's also part of who they are. It's just for me, I like saying Raimbu. I like saying in Irish, if you want to say what's your story, you would say what's your scale. I like saying arcoiris because you know that's Spanish, and well, iris comes from ancient Greek, iris in English, for rainbow. And that's just like what I like to say. You know, if they want to say they're Scottish or German or English or whatever, and then they get upset with my accent, I would say, well, then you know, if you told that to someone in Scotland, they probably wouldn't be happy with that. You know, if you said you're Scottish and then you get upset with their accent, you know, you got to speak, you have to speak an American accent in Scotland. They probably wouldn't like that. You know? Or same thing in Ireland, you know. Oh, back to your question earlier, we say klutz not often, but it's used more for older people, I'd say. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's like a common word I've heard here. Another word was spiel as well, and I think that means uh, you know, what's your you know, listen to your spiel. I think that means like I think that's another word for saying like story or account or something. I prefer scale more because scale is like what's your story, what's your uh, you know, tale, you know, like sharing with the bards, kind of. But yeah, like I think it's more of a problem. Maybe I think I understand it more from like Europeans, like for example, you from the UK, Amalfi, because no idea how to spell it, but we do say that like if you're rambling. Yeah, yeah, like I understand it more like from people from Europe, because like I think when they hear the term American, I think they have this stereotype in their mind of what an American is. I think it's something like this. Yeah, I think they have like the stereotype of what an American is, like, and so when I don't fit that stereotype, then I understand why Europeans um, why they might feel the way they do. And then I just say, well, uh, I guess the best way I can say it is it's kind of like how the Japanese Americans still connect with their Japanese ancestry, or the Chinese Americans still connect with their Chinese ancestry, or the natives. And maybe that's part of it too. Maybe because, I am like, well, I guess technically part Asian, like my dad would say. That's another reason why I've learned to connect with my ancestors more. And I think that's what my Uncle Herman would always say is like, you know, I don't see how it would be a bad thing that you don't match an American stereotype. Yeah. Yeah, like if I went to the UK, I don't know if I didn't tell people, I don't know if many people would know that I was American. I don't know if they would think I was from there or if I was from somewhere else or, whatever. But that's okay. I don't really care to be honest. Well, the best way I can say it is I am who I am, and I just, you know, this is who I am. It's it's like with Bjorn when they'll say, you're not a Viking, you're not blonde, you're reenacting. And then Bjorn would say, I'm not reenacting, I made that bow, you know. And he lives in Norway, and people still say that, so I don't know. We usually get excited when we spot a Yank, especially in smaller towns. You wouldn't get pegged in a pub, that's for sure. Yeah, like this is just part of my ancestry. Um, Again, the only reason why I say Celtic is because I have matches for more than Britain or Ireland. Because the Celts, they weren't always in Britain and Ireland. They also originally were in mainland Europe. I think that's why I also say Celtic rather than just a specific country. I mean, I know like my dad took a DNA test and it'll say 30% Irish, but then it breaks it down to like Norse and because even the Irish themselves are not. I've learned a lot of them are not purely Celtic because of the Norsemen. Um, but yeah, I know the U.S. It's funny how people say I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, I'm Welsh, and then they'll say, "What? But wait, you can't speak with that Celtic accent." But wait, I thought you said you were Irish and Scottish. Yeah, but you can't speak like that. And I'll say, I'm sorry, but this is the way I would speak. I speak, and if you went to Ireland and Scotland and told them that, then you probably would. Well, I'm not trying to get them to get hurt. I'm just saying, if you're gonna say that, then at least know something about it. Other than Paddy's Day or you know, uh, or I guess in Scotland there's also bagpipes too. But just know something. If you're gonna say if you're gonna say that's who you are, at least know something. Know something. It doesn't have to be complex. But I think it'd be better to also let people from Europe also answer that as well, since they live there, They live in Scotland or they live in Ireland or they live in England or Wales or Britain. And so, that'd be another source too, to let them also to answer that. And it's kind of tough for me. It is because usually when the default Scottish Irish like when they say that and then I have my accent and that doesn't work for them, then they'll say German. They'll say, "Well, I'm German." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know how that's supposed to be any better." Well, not saying there's anything wrong with being German because I have an uncle named German or Herman. Well, spelled like German because in Spain, uh, the way you spell German is with a G, like because it's pronounced like Herman. Like it's spelled with a G, like German. So it's kind of funny how that works. Um, yeah, like they'll go from like one to the other, and because if it doesn't fit, yeah, Herman the German exactly, and I think that's what my uncle Herman would say. He would say, they're not there to They're not there to listen. He would say that some of these people, they're not there to listen to you. They're there to criticize. And I think I understand them better now, because I think what it is if it doesn't fit their agenda, then they go to something else. Yeah. Thing my dad would say, haha, he was born in Germany. I think when I looked at my DNA tests, I did have some quote-unquote German ancestry, but it was more like Swiss German. And I think what that means is it's more Celtic influence than Germanic. Like it still has Germanic in it, but it's like I think it's more like Belgic, like how the Belgic tribes were like they were Celtic. Well, they were part Germanic, but they were also Celtic as well. So it was kind of like a mix. But yeah, that's what happens here in the States with some people. It's like if one option, if one ethnicity doesn't work, they'll go to another one until it fits their agenda. It and it's kind of weird, you know. I don't know how many people I've met in Europe that will do that. They'll say, "Well, all right, you know, if being Scottish today doesn't work, I'll be German tomorrow." Yeah. He was born on an English army base to English family, so yeah, no German to me really. No, I just kind of laugh. It's like they pull out the no more Mr. Nice Guy card or something. Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, we honestly don't care much. Yeah. It's like have you ever seen those like smiley yellow smiley face kind of images? So it's like the yellow smiley face is Scottish and Irish, and then like the red face is like German. That's what I think. And then my Uncle Herman, who, I mean, he's most definitely, I mean, he's related to like a Germanic chieftain named Herman Siegfried that like defeated 3 Roman legions. So he's definitely, but at least with him, like he doesn't he doesn't say, "Oh, I'm German, so I can do whatever I want," kind of thing. Like he just he has like vision, like the way he looks at things is like an eagle. Like he has just like a sharp vision. And I don't know. I think people here um they just I don't know. It's just like until it fits their agenda, you know, they'll keep hopping around. But like I think for me, um, I kind of find it like a blessing to be connected to so many different people. Like I think that's the point of America, anyways. It's it always says America's a melting pot. And then I know some people in Europe might think it's a lie, and then maybe when they meet me, they're like, "Oh wow, he really is the melting pot of America," and that's what this place really should be. Um, and I think even some of the native tribes, they talk about the Rainbow Warriors, which really means people born from all different ethnicities kind of coming together. And that's what this place really should be. That's what democracy is. It's not just for, oh, I got 42 prayer. It's not just for, just a certain select people. It's for everyone. That was kind of the foundation, found in Greece, uh, around 2,500 years ago or even before then. But yeah, no, I think people, at least in Europe, I don't think you guys do it, but yeah. Land of the free. Yeah, well, I like I like to be I try to be a good example of that myself, because I technically am also. I mean, even though I don't really feel like what people would imagine the stereotypical American to be like, I guess it's like people in Britain. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different people, different ethnicities in Britain, but they're still British, so I guess it makes sense, yeah. That I am still technically in American in the sense that I was born here, in the sense like a person being British because they were born in the UK, you know. Um, but yeah, no, I think people I don't know. I find it strange. I almost feel like I sometimes it. I know this sounds strange, but like sometimes I feel like I think like a European, or well, I guess you're the best judge of that because you live in Europe and you are a European. But I think the way I think maybe sometimes aligns more with them. But it kind of makes sense because I also have European ancestry, but I don't, it's kind of, but also other Americans do too. So it's kind of like, it's like a paradox. It's like, okay, I'm trying to put the pieces together and it makes sense for me, but but why doesn't it make sense for this other person here? That's okay though. That's okay. I'm not trying to say that, because some people would tell me, then, why not go to Europe? And then I would say, well, I wouldn't mind visiting there, but there's a reason why I was born here, you know? Yes, I'm happy being in this land. I feel like this is home for me. Now, do I always relate to other people that live here? Not always. Some people. I guess I also relate with people in Europe and in Asia too, like in Japan. Um, but I do love this land. I feel a connection to the land. I just wish people here were a bit more educated, like I guess people in Europe or in Asia. But again, that's their choice. That's not mine. So, the only thing I can do is try to share. Some people are willing to listen here. I'm not saying everyone here is thinks the Earth is flat, kind of a thing. It's just, you just try to help them, and I guess that's why I live here, you know. That's why I wouldn't mind visiting Europe again because I had a good time in Italy and even also in London. But there's a reason why I'm here, why I live here, and why hopefully I'm a good representation of what people think an American can be, instead of just thinking, they all wear cowboy hats, sing yeehaw, and eat at McDonald's, Of course, nothing wrong with McDonald's, but there's other places you can eat at too, in addition to. Um, yeah, I had someone named Barry that was born in Wales, but she lives in England, and she had the stereotype that all Americans wore cowboy hats, and they did the whole yeehaw thing. Yeah. I guess it's like how some people in the US think like you know people in England, or in the UK, they eat crumpets and they drink tea, and maybe that's their stereotype. Hey, tea is pretty good actually. I haven't had crumpets that much, at least I don't think so, but tea is definitely good. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. Yeah, no, I have a lot of tea in my cupboard for yeah, I think yeah. And I tend to have it well, yeah, I have it year round. I can have cold tea, I can have hot tea, and I have a lot of different kinds of tea. Yeah, I like drinking green tea, lemon and ginger. I think my mom would sometimes send me tea because she knows I like tea. I don't really drink coffee that much, so it's either tea, apple juice, sometimes lemonade, and water, and that's really it. I don't really drink soda, so. Um, but no, it's good to get a perspective of, and I know Bjorn, you know, he also makes he also makes the kind of statement that, Europe has so many different countries, and so you could say, yeah, oh yeah, but do you have proper British tea hot with milk? No, I don't add milk to it. I just add the tea to the water. That's what I do usually. I do enjoy milk at times, but I just tend to just have it just the tea itself with the water. But yeah, no, Bjorn will say like when you talk about Europe, which part of Europe? Is it Norway? Is it Spain? Is it Greece? Is it Albania? You know. I know the Albanians are always fighting with the Greeks, who are the real, ancestors of the Trojans, Spartans, but and then they're like, wait, why do the Spanish, why are they more related? You know? You'll have to show me on Discord. I will judge. Yeah, maybe one day when I'm having tea again, um, which can be in the next few minutes or whatever. Yeah. Um, I think the reason why I say the word Europe is because to me Europe, um, even though you have it's like in the Americas, even though you have so many different Native American tribes, some that look Japanese, like for myself and my great grandmother Lita, and then some that look Polynesian, like Fluffy, the Mexican comedian I know. Um, they're all still natives in some way. I think that's the same thing, really, also for Europeans. Whether it's in the far north or the far south. I guess really the same thing in East Asia too. Um, but yeah, I know. Like I think, like um, like again, I think that's why I say Europe too, because it is the continent of Europe. You know, it's like saying the continent of the Americas. You know, um, but yeah, trying to think here. I don't know. I, sometimes I don't even know some Americans know if what European ancestry they have other than because sometimes they'll just say I'm either white or black, and sometimes they may not even know who their ancestors actually are, which I think is a shame, you know, because that's how you start losing yourself. But um, but yeah, and I think that's why it was a good thing that when I grew up, I learned speaking English, of course, or well, the English that I speak. Uh, But I also learned speaking Spanish as well, from my grandma, from both my grandmas actually. Even though one of them spoke more English, the other one, mainly spoke Spanish, and that's how I learned how to speak Spanish or how to hablar español también, or to speak Spanish too. I'm not perfect at it, but I try. But when I can speak Spanish, I'll try to. Or when I write to my grandma, I'll do what I can to write to her in Spanish, when I'm texting. So. And it's a good thing, to know more than one language because, especially with Spanish, you get to understand the connection to not only Latin but also Greek, and to learn about that heritage. And it's very rich, if you go back to, where did democracy really originate from? I know Bjorn tries to say it came from Scandinavia, or at least part of it did, but I also tell him, well, part of it definitely also came from Greece as well. And I think he understands that. I think well, I hope he understands that. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, like I think um, knowing these things is a good thing. It's it came from England to my knowledge, or from what I understand. Yeah, I mean, of course, probably over time, you know, well, yeah, yeah, probably over time, But if you look at the roots, I think that one of the first forms of democracy really came from Greece, or ancient Greece. If you go far back enough, rather. Yeah. And then of course you had Rome, and that's where the word republic came from. And then that's where you get people fighting about, well, the U.S. It's not a democracy, it's a republic, and that's usually short for we prefer having someone like Julius Caesar versus like Hector of Troy or something. I don't know, or like a Herodotus, one of the Greek philosophers. Like the modern court system and whatnot came from us. Apparently, I'm not. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably influence from Rome. Because I know my friend Ben, who's a Welsh American, he talks a lot about that. But yeah, republics are different. Greece was, yeah. Well, Greece, yeah, probably, at a time had an oligarchy, but that was also where democracy was born as well. The word democracy, or the first form of it, really did come from Greece. But yeah, no, I think the republic came from Rome. Yes, and Ben, will mention that because he feels more of a connection to the Romans than he does to the Vikings. Which nothing wrong with that. I just try to remind him that Rome wouldn't be as quote unquote great as it was without the foundation that Greece built, and that was really democracy. If you go back far enough, um, I know Greece itself wasn't perfect either. Neither was Troy, but there's a connection there too. Yeah, yeah. No, he doesn't. He doesn't really. He kind of has the opinion the Vikings came and they raided Wales, and he has more of a negative image of the Vikings, but not everyone's perfect. I'll make mistakes. Yeah, I think my friend Ben was more into Rome than Greece. I think I'm probably more of an advocate for Greece, while he's more of an advocate for Rome. Which nothing wrong with that. Um, it's just I think a republic alone is not enough to uh it's not alone it's not enough to lead a people successfully. Democracy also can help too. Yeah, the Vikings did bring us good things too. Yeah, yeah. No, I think my friend Ben was talking about before the Vikings came, there weren't as many blonde-haired people in England and Britain. Because like my friend Ben has like jet black hair. It looks really good on him though, but I know he always has. It's almost like a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and it's like it's fine whatever hair color you have. But I mean, if you go back to Greece, I think Achilles, I think had blonde hair, but um, because then they forget too that even people in the Mediterranean had different hair colors. Um, but yeah, no, like I think what it is that I actually it really Ben is like one of my best friends because his hospitality is like second to none. Like I don't know if that's like a Welsh thing, but he would always like when I went to his when I went to his place, I felt like I was treated like royalty, and that's how I felt when I was there. And he always just had like the biggest heart. Like even when I was going through a really tough patch, like he'd be there for me. So he's also a Capricorn too, by the way. I think he's like a Sagittarius Capricorn cusp, but yeah, he was one of my best friends. He was also very educated too. Like he and I had a lot of conversations. So I think his mom was born in Wales and then she emigrated to the U.S. She wasn't an expat. I don't like that word, by the way. People say I'm an expat. You know? It's like somehow it's like yeah I'm better than an immigrant. you know? No, she emigrated from the. There's nothing wrong with being an immigrant or emigrating because that's what people do. Or immigrating or emigrating because people move around, but they're like, no, I don't want to say that. I want to say I'm an expat. I think people use that a lot when they'll say like I'm an expat to like Mexico, or I'm an expat to China, or I'm an expat to Japan, or whatever, or expat to Spain, or I don't know if they used expat to England, but or UK. Well, let me give me a sec here. Welsh people are lovely, very prideful, hate the English, make families, get-togethers. Interesting. Yeah, no, my friend, my mom's, well, his mom reminded me a lot of my dad, actually. And I think it makes sense now that I saw that out of all the ethnic groups in Britain and Ireland that my dad was related to. My dad was genetically closest, I think, to the Welsh, which makes sense because I kind of look at how some of the Welsh and how even some of the Cornish look like. I know some say that the Cornish are genetically more similar to Anglo-Saxons, but I don't know if that's entirely true because I've seen some Cornish that look a little bit more like Welsh, to me at least. But I think my dad, I think that's why my friend Remy from Wales, she said, "You remind me of my dad," because I probably, and then she called me her brethren because, well, it makes sense why we're related, you know. Yeah, no, the Welsh just they just tend to just really have big hearts. At least the ones I know of. Like the ones that I really feel are Welsh. I'm not saying people who say they're Welsh, like, because I've met people who say they're Welsh here in the States and they look English to me. Or one person said she was Welsh and she looked like Mongolian. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with being Mongolian or also English. It's just, I mean, I probably have a bit of Mongolian too because of the Asian ancestry I have. Even though I feel connection to Japan. Um, I try to be as inclusive as I can because of my rainbow ancestry. But yeah, I know I feel like when you know someone is Welsh, you'll know. Like it's just there's something about them like that you'll just pick up on. And I think that's what even my dad's partner said that she was doing a business trip she was trying to do a business trip to Wales because she went to England first to do business there. But then when she tried to go into Wales, the roads were so confusing. And then she was like saying they're trying to keep the Brits out. They're trying to keep the Brits out. And they're like, well, I, maybe it's code for they're trying to keep the English out. I don't know, but see, that's interesting. I can't visibly see the differences between any of the UK countries. Even Americans look the same to me. It's when someone speaks that I know. Yeah, because she would say she was Welsh. She felt Welsh, but then when she tried to go to Wales, then she was like, "Oh, they're keeping the Brits out." It's like I'm Welsh, but I'm also British, and I'm also English. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put the Welsh hat, and then I'm gonna put the English hat, and then I'm gonna put the British hat. And it's like, well, I mean, if you're at least part Welsh, they'll know. They'll let you in, or I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe the fairies will keep you out, or maybe if you bring what's a popular dish in Wales that they have? I think they have it's like this toast with melted cheese. I think it's werebits or Welsh. You probably know this better than I do. Welsh rarebits, rabbit, or I think it's rarebit. You probably know about it more than I do, because I think there's even something in the West Midlands that's similar. Because I met someone from the West Midlands, and then she was trying to argue, no, it didn't come from Wales, it came from the West Midlands, or something. You know? So there's like a back and forth about that. Yeah. Yeah, is it pronounced rarebit or I don't know why sometimes I want to say rabbit, uh, but yeah, no, yeah, I'll probably tell her, if you brought the Welsh some of that, maybe they'll let you in then. Yeah, and then I know. Are you selling any Blue D HUD right now? Oh. Well, I have a lot of my banks, so I might actually send a message. Wes, it's Welsh, but I would argue whoever said it was from Midlands. Yeah, she was also the same person that she also said, you're not Celtic, you're not. She said she didn't say Japanese. She said you're not Chinese for whatever reason. I never said Chinese. I always said Japanese. But anyways, I mean, it's not that far genetically, off because of East Asia. But always feel more of a connection to Japanese. But then she would say you're not any of these things you say you are. You're just a white American. And I don't feel like that. I mean, of course, maybe if you look at my skin tone, maybe I'm a bit pale, but uh, you know, a bit pale with a well, you know, how do you call it? Maybe pale's not the word. Like, I always like the trading parts. Always, anyways, I got to dip for like 20 minutes, so yeah. Yeah, okay, let me summarize this before you dip. Um, yeah, so I know in what I've heard in England is or in Britain is like some people use the fake orange tan because some people like they get made fun of for being like too pale or something. I guess like the way like my skin is it's like I have like a light skin tone, but people always compliment me for it. Like my grandma would always say, you know, your skin or your uh, she would say piel blanco, which would be white skin. No, it just it looks really good on you, or your skin tone looks really good, or the way your skin appears. And yeah, something like that. I hate that, by the way. No offense to Brits who also use the orange tan. I just don't like that. I'm not a fan of orange tan. Like, and like it's kind of interesting too because like you know I don't use orange tan. I don't use the skin whitener that the Japanese use. I just my skin is just my skin. And sometimes I'll use like moisturizer or sunscreen, but I don't use the anything to you know brighten or darken my skin. It's just my skin tone. But no, like I've had a lot of good compliments of my skin tone. You know that it tends to be a light skin tone, but people tend to like it. I mean, it could be any skin tone, and people could like it too or dislike it. You know, whatever. But I've heard that's why some people use orange tan because I guess you know maybe they feel they're too pale or they're a kind of pale that doesn't look good or I don't know. But I've never had that problem. And I've also never used the because I know in Japan a lot of the reason why the Japanese why their skin tone sometimes looks like porcelain white is because they use skin whitener, and I've never used that either. Um, you know, it just is how it is. It's all natural. You know, thankfully. But yeah, but yeah, no, I don't want to offend people. Well, you know, you know, if someone really, I guess what I'm trying to say is like if people really like the orange tan and they feel better with it, then that's fine. Um, I just think like what I don't like is when people put that orange tan on and then they start saying, I don't know, it's like I'm trying to think of an idea, like over an example. It's just yeah. Anyway, yeah, be right back. Okay, no worries, Mafi. See you in a wee bit then. Oh, did I get 60 magic? Oh no, it's 48 HP. All right. By the way, Wes, if you're comfortable in answering, are you a big fan of the orange tan? I'm just curious. It's okay if you are. I would just. Not really. I'm indifferent about it mostly. I think Orange Chan is fine, but like when it gets like to the point that like what Mafi said, the way that Trump uses it, it's horrible in my opinion. At least in my opinion. That's just how I view it. I mean, if he really likes it, then that's fine. It's just, you know, makes me think of the Oompa Loompas, from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think I'll write that to Mafia because she'd probably relate to it. Hold on. I'll put it in the Discord. Hold on. Or maybe I'll share a link with you too. Bless. Hold on. No, I'll just. uh. Hold on. No, I don't think I can post them in chat. Oh well. Oh, can I? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Probably something like that. That's what it makes me think of. I mean, if he wants to look like that, that's fine. I mean, you could cosplay an Oompa Loompa. That's what it makes me think of. I felt like that Mafi would connect with that a lot because I think didn't that story Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? I think its basis came from England, right? Or that whole story. You know, I just felt like it was silly. If it makes people happy, then that's the most important thing. It's just not for me. And then the what they use in Japan, the skin whitener is not for me either. But I will say in Japan, if there's one thing I do like is like how the geishas they put the powder on their face to make it look like the moon. Like I do like, but that's a little bit different, I guess. You can cosplay, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I think like the powder that the geishas use, the white powder, to make their face look like the moon. That looks really. I think that's cool just because of the symbolism. Because I think it connects with like the symbolism of the moon and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But at least with the white powder, like at least I don't think it negatively affects you, and I think it's more so for ceremonial kind of purposes. Oh, let me also give him an eye patch too. We'll do that. Let's see. There we go. There it is. Now he has the eye patch. After I do this trade, I'm gonna wash my face because it's hot. So hot. Okay, hold on. Let's see. There she is. Either or is fine. All right. Yep, it's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna be back. I'm just gonna wash my face for a wee bit because it's just too hot. Be back. Alright guys, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to wash up a little bit and get some more water. Maybe I'll get some green tea actually. I'm just gonna put a bag in my canister real quick. Alright guys, I'm back. Got my tea, cool tea, I got some more water, and I think we're ready to go. Okay, give me a sec. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm just gonna answer someone real quick. Alright, let's see. Okay. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Sorry guys, I was just responding to other people in the Discord. If anyone wants to join, let me know. I'll be able to post a link in the comments. Give me a sec, guys. I'm still playing, just also responding to some people in the Discord. Here we go. Let's see if I can... Oh, where'd my cat go? Oh shoot, did I put it in the bank? I might have. No. Okay, let me go. No, my cat's still there. Okay, good. So I'll say, where did my cat go? Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Don't want to use up all my salmon. Let's see. Oh, hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Since I'm drinking some tea now, let me do a little poll here. Oh, did I get 60 magic? Oh, now we can do, maybe we'll do the, try to get the god capes before we end the stream then. Oh, nice. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I don't tend to often have my tea with milk, or if at all, but I'd be willing to potentially give it a try. The thing with milk is, I eat cheese and pizza and yogurt at times just fine. But sometimes whole milk it's a 50-50. Sometimes my stomach's fine with it, and other times it struggles. I've had oat milk before too, and that's pretty good. I know it's an alternative, but yeah. I guess would be worth a shot, even with like oat milk, I guess. Potentially. I see. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day if it catches my fancy, I might give it a try. We'll see. Okay, how do we get the god capes? Okay, I might need to might need to get prayer pots for this. But out to 50, into 56 wilderness to start. Alright, so... Let me check something here. Well, I got a prayer potion. I think hopefully one prayer pot's enough to do this mini quest. Maybe if Riot has some prayer pots, maybe I can buy some from him. Okay, I think one prayer pot should get me through, I think. Have to see. Wait, I think I've traded... No, I traded an eye patch already to humanity. No, I have. Good old humanity. The reason why I have the water staff out is because I hope when people see it, if they do try to PvP me, they'll say, "Oh, we don't want to be entangled." No, I'm doing the Mage Arena quest now because I have 60 magic, so that's why I'm here. I'm gonna try to see if I can do it. I think you only need protect from magic for the whole thing, so shouldn't be too bad. I might buy some runes later though, but I have a good amount. I might buy some laws or something. Oop, oh, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. Maybe I'll wear this for more prayer. Let me see if I can do it with fire strikes, just as a challenge. Let's see. Maybe I'll regret it, maybe I won't. Let's see. I think 300 cash should be enough. Maybe just in case. Let's go. Oops, my bad. I'm the great Kola Doin? Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Master Battle Magic, and this is my battle arena. The top lizards travel from all over Runescape to fight here. Can I fight here? My arena is open to any high-level wizard, but this is no game. Many wizards fall in this arena, or to rise again. The strongest mages have been destroyed. If you're sure you want to go in, yes indeedy. Good, good, you have a healthy sense of competition. Remember, Traveler, in my arena, hand-to-hand combat is useless. Your strength will diminish as you enter the arena. The spells you can learn are amongst the most powerful in RuneScape. Or I can accept you, and we may not take armor or weapons into the arena. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's fight. First check out that you're up to scratch, you cannot enter. Oh, okay. Hold on. So it seems like I can't bring my armor with me? Let's see. Okay, so it seems like I can't take armor, I can't take weapons. So literally, do I go in just like with oops, my bad. I don't know what's these things. You're good, yeah, just with food, prayer pot, and spells. Okay, so I can't take the staff or any armor, just okay. Oh, then that means I have to ooh shoot. Oh, okay, okay, staff will be worth it then. If I can bring at least my Ami and my staff, that'd be great. Not just any magician can enter, only the most powerful, the most feared. Before you can use the power of this arena, you must prove yourself against me. Oh, that was pretty easy. Alright, let's go Fire Strike. We're representing Fire Strike. This reminds me of one of the bosses from OSRS. I'm trying to remember its name. I think it starts. It's not. I think it's Venenatis is what it's called. Yeah. This reminds me a bit of Venenatis. At least the model does. Yeah. Even though it's a lot smaller. Oh, Egregious isn't on, I would have told him. Fire Strike for the win. But RPG's on. I can do this. Hold on. I think he has 4 forms, I think. 4 main forms, so I think I'm... Yeah, I think this is the last one. Come on! Let's go. We can do this, guys. We're down to the last Brave Vault. Or well, the last sip. If not, I got salmon. Come on, hit! Let's go. Love those, getting those 5s in. No. There we go. Let's go! No. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to probably start eating food. No! Wow. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go. Hold on. This last little bit, I think we can do it. Oof. No! Literally a 0. Hold on. Okay, got him. Well done, young adventurer. You truly are a worthy battle mage. What now? Step into the magic pool. It will take you to a chamber. There you must decide which god you will represent in the arena. Thanks. Hello, doing. That's what I'm here for. Oh, my friend Caledonian sent me down. The gods are talking. I can hear their whispers. I hear them adventure. They're calling you. Okay. Call chant at the statue of the god you most wish to represent this world. You'll be rewarded. Once you're done, come back to me. I shall supply you with a magic staff ready for battle. Okay, so I said at the beginning I wanted to try Guthix Claws first. Pray each altar, pick one up till I grab. Literally. Okay. Enium begun the chant to Guthix. Feel rush of energy charged through your veins. Suddenly a cape appears before you. I don't know. So Guthix, Saradomin, and Zambi. Oh, it looks like the Obsidian Cape. Oh shoot, my bad. Hi. How venture have you made your choice? I have. Edgod, I hope you have chosen well. I'll now present you with magic staff this along with the cape award to you by your chosen god, are all the weapons and armor you will need here. Okay. I got Claws of Guthix, and then projects said I can get the other two. I just have to use Telegrab. Alright, that was worth it, especially for the cape, because it's a plus 10 magic bonus, so. It's like getting an extra bonus like by like almost wanting to wielding two staves in a way. Okay. So I have to clear my bank out soon. Release it, rearrange it, because I don't think we're getting more magic or more inventory space afterwards. Hmm. Oh, I see what you gotta do. Well, there we go. Oh, and if I want to buy another staff, I have to. Ooh. Okay, I didn't know that. That's okay though. I don't have to get it right away. I can always wait till I get 80 magic. Hmm. Actually looks pretty decent. Let me know what you guys think. Green's one of my favorite colors, so it's kind of why I wanted to do it like that. Maybe also get a green robe as well. Well, I don't actually no, I don't think it gives magic bonus, I think. But still, it's pretty good. Okay, probably I'm gonna wrap up the stream at Varrock just to see if anyone's there. Yeah, Guthix is cool. Guthix and Sarah, I'll probably focus on those. Plaza Guthix and then Sarah Strike, for sure. I don't really need to buy too many more runes, but I could always get more fires, I guess. Sarah could look too. The Sarah cape could look good too. Let me see if I can get a build for that. I actually like the light blue, but let me know what you guys think. This actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I like both of them. Maybe for now we'll have Sarah, but yeah, because the Gothic build would be this. And the Sarah build would be like that. Okay, let me do hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna do a poll. See if I can. Oh yeah. Oh, we're still on the tea. Hold on. Seems like people like the green tea and also the black tea. Oh, there's a lot of people here. It's amazing how many players are here today. I never remember seeing so many players here in the bank. Oh, so people like Gothics so far. Okay. I like Gothics too. I like both of them. Yeah. I love everyone enjoying the right patches. Let's see if I can get him. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, by the way. Whoever's still here. Let me know if you guys prefer the black robe top or the blue robe top. I like the blue robe top, if only because then you have all the primary colors there, green, blue, and red. But let me know what you guys think. Yeah, blue's nice. Let's see if anyone wants these herbs. I have to remember who buys herbs. Oh, let's see here. Hmm? Oops, there's a shade here. I love the West Bank. This is always a fun place to hang out. My fat spot. Figure that was a way to sell the herbs. I love the way he follows. It's funny. No. I love what the characters are on the follow menu, like how they like slowly turn their model. It's always funny. Okay, let's see what else I got to trade. Hold on. Hope you guys are still having fun with the stream. It's really been a good night. Just trying to see what I can get out of here. Yeah, appreciate it. I don't know. Oh, Gigasaur. I don't know what this guy's typing. He's just going off. I don't know what the heck he's typing. He just walks away. Well, let's see. I'll steer. Wait, someone's hey, at least we gave out quite a few more eye patches. That's always nice to do. Okay, what else do we not need? No, don't need a cup of tea right now. Even though a cup of tea is always good. Oh, wait. Nothing like a nice cup of tea. You're cooked. What? Hey, tea's good, you know? I'm glad you're glad that I'm glad. What? You could have a laugh. Okay, let's see who else is here. Hope you guys are still enjoying the stream. One day. Hold on. Another beverage. Hold on. I could have a laugh. Oh wait, is someone in there? Or no. Okay, I think I'm gonna go to Camelot, go all the way to Yano. Wait, let me see. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go to Camelot and then to Yano and see if I can trade any more eye patches, and then we'll probably end the stream. It's been a good one though, guys. It really has been. I love that name, Meowth. Pokemon. See if anyone else is here. That's one thing I love about this game is interacting with the community. It's always great. At least for the most part. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, are you also play RuneScape too, Buffy? That's good to hear. Well, I guess maybe also since you live in the UK, you might also have been even more exposed to it, because I think that's where it originated from. Mhm. Oh, nice. Being able to fast travel is really nice to be able to do now. Yep. Yeah, RuneScape to me is like the Ocarina of Time of, or especially old schools like or classic old schools like the Ocarina of Time of like MMOs. Like if anyone would want to say, what's the Ocarina of Time of MMOs, I'd point to this game. Or what's like the gold and silver. Yeah. Hmm. Alright. I did make a 2004 count the other day when you said to do range as a joke. Message during character creation. Clicked on sound settings and now I'm stuck looking like a bot. Sorry, oh, sorry to hear that, Muffy. Well, if I ever see you, if you ever want to make a cameo on the stream aside from in the comments, I can also gift you an eye patch if you like one as well. Trying to rate together 3K for appearance Mage, but yeah, would love an eye patch. Yeah, definitely. If you ever want to make a cameo on the stream, you can always do that. But alright, I think I'm gonna wait. Let's see who else is coming here. Oh no, it's just Stellar again. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys had fun. And I'll be off for now. I'll probably still be in the Discord, but I'll probably package an order tonight before I end the stream, or after I end the stream rather. All right. Hope you guys take care.